Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Great Talk Podcast. And today's episode is special because we have a special somebody in the house. And it's again, Great Talk is about the business of creativity, right? It's about the creative industry, creative sector. So it's not just music. It's film, it's photography, it's everything you can think of within the creative sector. Today we have a particularly awesome, beautiful, and elegant lady in the house. Lady in the house. And yeah, I can't wait for you guys to hear what she has to share, what she has to say. Let's just get right into it. And my guest today is Onyinye Odokoro, a fantastic actor. And she has other good stuff that she does that I really admire. Don't worry, we will get into that. How are you, Onyinye?
I'm fine. Tell me something. This thing that you people used to do. Oh, special guest. Today is special. You do that for everybody, don't you?
No.
No?
For real. So everyone is special, right? The fact that you're here is because you're special, right? To me, to the industry and all that. That's one.
That's a smart answer.
I don't worry, when I answer that yes. So you're special, right? Because you have something to share, you have something to give, right? And it's not transactional in that sense. So yeah, that's one. Then also my relationship with people, right? Are on different levels, right? So do I think on a personal level, camera off, everything off, do I think you're special? I think you are special, right? I think you're special as a friend. I think you're special what you do. I was saying off camera, like that's a question I wanted to ask you because I was watching one of the movies that you were a star on, a major person on a baby farm, and I've seen you in action, right? A couple, and even on stage, right? I've seen you on stage, like for theater and all that stuff, and I know. As I say, if I do say so myself, I think I know that you're good, right? I know that you're good, but Baby Farm gave me a different light to you. Like, did this girl did she go to film school? Did she attend, maybe she was trained from, like, beyond what you were saying, your countenance, your facial expression, they were real, as though you've ever been a maker. For real, like, for a moment, I felt like I'm proud to call this person a friend. Yeah, and I'm not saying that.
Okay. Nice. Well, I was just pulling your legs anyway.
I know, but I think like a lot of times for people in your industry, it's difficult to separate what is like business, what is like generic and what is real. Because when you find yourself in this space, everybody just wants to say, oh, it's special, oh, this, oh, that. You don't know which was actually coming from your heart. So I even when I know that my legs are being pulled, I try to actually attend to it as a serious thing because you don't know what that will even do for the person. So yes, I think you are special.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. So let's get into it. I've talked about one of the, projects that you killed, you smashed. I don't know how you do it. I also was at the premiere for, what's this other one that was
Princess on the Hill?
Yes, Princess on the Hill. And I saw how you almost became like an undercover. I've not seen every other, like, I've seen a couple episodes and all that. How do you find yourself here?
How did I find myself here? I took a bus from Nollywood. Don't mind me. But yeah, that's also part of the story. I had been acting since I was a teenager. I think I'm trying to remember my first performance. But there was one, I don't know if it was the first, but there's one I remember. It was junior secondary school. I think it was JSS2. And we had social nights. So how it happens is that there's social night, and then the seniors, SS2 or SS3, they say, oh, JSS1, you're doing song. This is 2, you're doing drama. This is 3, you're doing dance. So they assigned my class drama, and everybody had to be involved. And it was a Catholic school, so it's almost always the Jesus fighting Satan kind of story. Yeah, so we did that, and I played the character of the head of the occult world. Yeah, the one that Matanga that carries the smoking calabash with a staff, and then so I remember the scene that introduces my character. I still remember it. I had to walk in. There was all these very eerie sounds that they were playing on the drums. My cult members were already lined up on both sides, so I had to walk in from the audience from behind with a red robe and all of that, painted face, carrying, look at that. I entered, and it just felt so surreal. And after that, things changed for me in that school, because everybody was like, there was this awe that people were looking at me with. And then I think that was the first time, based off of that reaction, other people's reaction to my performance, I'm like, people were even, somebody gave me money for performing. And then I think that was the first time he registered to me. Said, what is this thing? But I didn't know what it was per se in terms of talent, passion. I still thought everybody could act, that it was just a flair. Yeah. So fast forward to university, I studied nursing. 200 level was when the epiphany came. I knew, oh no, this is not just a flair. This is passion. This is what I want to make a career out of. It wasn't funny saying that to my parents.
Tell that to someone that was, if I'm not going to my kind of mind's words, disowned.
Oh.
Yeah, I was, when I decided to study. This is not about.
Oh, that's
we're good now.
But these are conversations we should have. Do you know what? Like, imagine if we're having a conversation with the parents. Let's unpack this thing. Yeah. That is Let creatives talk with their parents. It's a whole lot.
I heard. Oh, so in Yoruba, they call musicians, especially in time world, not now that musicians are becoming billionaires and all that. They call them alagbe. Alagbe is basically Bambiala in a sense, like you're singing or money.
Okay.
In Western music history, they are called troubadours. Troubadours, those guys that will sing on the road for to give them money. So they are more like vegans in a sense. Nobody saw it as showcasing talent money.
Yeah.
So I mean, my pops, my dad was like, we want to become. I can't play the drums up until today, because when I wanted to learn to play the drums, there was a drummer in a church that was like Pen and Time Christ Embassy. Was like, he wanted to teach me. I asked him if he could teach me how to play drums, and he gave me time and day to come to church where he comes to practice, so he can teach me. And I told my dad, and it was like, that's never going to happen. Drummers are proud people. You want to be putting towel on your neck and be playing and be feeling like you're on the throne or something, So I understand. I understand now that I'm a dad. I understand it. I don't think that will ever happen to my kid, because again, we know better. Not like we knew at the time, that era. We wouldn't say they didn't know better, right? But it was a thing that you go to school, you become a doctor, it was just, I think it was just a generational thing. So no shade to my dad. It's not like he was trying to do anything wrong or trying to hurt me. But maybe if they spent more time trying to understand stuff, or trying to hear your kids out, trying to even study that industry and see what's even happening here. Because at the time we had Trifix, we had, people doing well in music. But anyways, but I think that's the conversation that go.
Yeah, I mean, at the initial stage, it wasn't something they were willing to hear. So but I decided to finish, and I finished. Next thing, I'm on the next bus to Lagos, and I moved to Lagos. But how that happened is like a whole different story. I came on the call of someone called Mimi Bartels. At the time she was head of production film 1. So while I was in school, I was doing a lot of monologues. and I was just posting online. Yeah, I was doing content, acting, reenacting scenes. So when she called me and said, "Hi, Onyinye, we've been watching you. We want to put you in some of our stuff. Where are you?" I'm like, "What?"
Did you know who she was before then?
No, not really. No, I didn't know.
You were just doing.
I was just doing my thing.
Were you doing it hoping that someday somebody will call you? You were just doing it.
I was doing it hoping that somebody would. Yeah. But there was even an opportunity I'd gotten when I was still in my final year. I couldn't go because I was in school. Anybody that studied nursing would know. We don't have breaks. No.
Yeah.
So that really hurt that I couldn't go. And it even made me stop doing the content because then I didn't want to be seen as unserious. Are you participating in this? Because they're looking for actors. So if we call you, you're not able to come. So why are you doing it? You know, so it was a bit of a thing. But then towards when I knew I was finishing, that's 500 level, second semester, I resumed. Yeah, so she calls me. She gave me transfer money. I entered bus. I'm telling you. I entered bus. I came to Lagos. No.
Very far.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how I came here, 2020, January. And the rest is history. So fun.
So you did that project with them?
Not the one, I just auditioned for that one, but I was not cast in it. But then they were on a set. I met them on a set. It was, I think, I've forgotten the set now that they were on. But after I finished the audition, I'm like, do you people need a PA on set? And they're like, yes. I'm like, can I be a PA? And they said, okay. And I was PA on that set. I was PA on another set. That's actually how I started. And then being a PA on set.
What's PA, please?
Production assistant.
Okay.
Yeah. So just run around.
Before they think it's personal assistant.
No. But in some ways, I was the personal assistant to all the actors. So whatever the actors needed, whatever the crew needed, whatever run around, basically the production assistant would do that. So the second set was me. I would pitch myself, say, because I would read the script. I would find a little role. There was one we did Kambili, where I found a little. I'm like, director, I would speak to the assistant director. AD, I completed that one actor. Hey, you're an actor. I don't know, let's see. And I did it, and they're like, okay. So that was kind of how it started. Mimi also kept her word. She would send me auditions. She would put me in stuff. But yeah, that's how I entered.
So I have spoken with a couple people on this board, and there's a thread, like broken lines that I can just connect.
Mm-hmm.
And that line is basically every one of you have drive, right? How are you able to be in a frame of mind where you would prefer to be casted? You're not, right? But instead of saying that is supposed to be me and a new Tuesday, all of you fuck off, you decided to submit yourself for something else that would elevate and even make the production more smoother. That isn't even being casted. You never saw those other things as beneath you. Because there's a way, and when I mean beneath, people say, well, she wasn't a star yet, so why would that be? There's a way we can actually make our talents feel as though every other thing is beneath us. But I'm not exhibiting that talent of acting as an actor. Then every other thing outside acting in this space, is beneath it.
Yeah.
What fuels that thought process for you? Why are you like that? Why did you think that instead of me being, I audition, you choose me, I should be going to my house? I can do better than when I was casted for. I mean, sometimes we hear people say that. But you decided to say, I can play this other role, I can be PhD, every other person that you would have been. What fueled that?
That's interesting. I've never thought about that. I don't even know at the time why. Because I'd never been on a Nollywood set at the time. So I thought, oh my God, this is a Nollywood set. I'd like to be here. How can I help? And so I also at the time, I just knew things about providing value that I don't want to just, if I want to be part of this set, how do I come in? Oh, I know there's a way. Can I become a production assistant? Because this is the way that you can have me on set. I like to be on set. I wanted to be on set. I wanted to watch how it was being done. I wanted to watch how directors directed actors. So I think that was it. I was happy. I'd have been the gift man. I would have been anything. I wasn't thinking, it wasn't a beneath what. I just wanted to be in that space. Yeah, in whatever capacity. Yeah, not acting, okay, no problem. I mean, it was sting, it hurts, but it didn't, nothing. I was like, okay, how can I be here? How can I? And I thought, OP, and they were gracious to have me.
Yeah, it was all about value to you.
Yeah.
How can I add value to what's going on? And of course, there's a ripple effect to that. To say
they also give me value. Yeah.
So because you learn stuff, you are in their faces. Yeah. In that sense, and yeah, if I mean, if I were to be someone who's like maybe a director, or a movie producer or something, and I see someone with such drive, I would do the same.
Yeah.
I remember this man of blessed memory. What's the name of this music exec that died recently? Jules. Oh, how can I forget the name called? The guy that discovered Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones. Yes. You know, Quincy Jones saying the way he found Michael Jackson, he was on a set for a play. It wasn't even music, right? It was a play, like a musical, right? That had people, and Michael was on that set, I think, and he was he had a role to play. I don't know if that role had music or stuff. I can't really remember for sure. But he said one thing he figured on, that was this guy, whenever they're resuming to like arriving at location, Michael is already there. When they are leaving, Michael sometimes stays there. And he knew everybody's song outside what he was. And called him one day, like, yo lad, why are you, and the guy talked about his interest in you, why he likes to sing, he wants to whatever, and he just kind of threw him in the studio, and outside to discover that this guy is a hell of a machine. Lyrics aside from that. So yeah, I think that presenting yourself, I think it's more about showing people that you build value to them before. I think most times we try to get people to do things for us without showing value in sense, without giving, and that's very, very impressive. I'm happy to be associated. Did you go to acting school? Like, did you go to any form of school?
Well, no, I didn't. The most that I've done is like a workshop. Okay. So it's just a free masterclass for a week that I did. I think that's it.
So you just do these things?
How do you practice? The Lord. So I have my books because I read, and I've always known that if I want to learn something, for example, now I'm coming into my producing era, and what I've done is that I've gotten like 3 books on producing, and I'm going to study them while I'm shadowing a producer that I'd like to shadow. So it's always been my way, whether it's fitness, anything I want to do. Books have always been a way that I want to be introduced to the thing first. Okay. Some other people, they say they watch podcasts, they do it, but mine has always been books. So it started from university when I knew I wanted to act. I got some acting books, and I studied them. Like, I really I still have those notes for 5 years ago, and now I'm even going back to basics here. Yeah. So that's how it was training for me. It was training.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's training. Studying those books. Do
you have like mentors? And I mean, it doesn't have to be like direct mentorship. Like some people call them models, right? Do you have like a model?
Yeah, sure. Sometimes when I pray, I'm like, this person, the way that this person is. For example, I say, how Lupita is in Kenya. I want to be like that in Nigeria. You know how Thames is to Afrobeat. I want to be like that in Nollywood. You know, the global export. Yeah. So I've watched people that their careers, maybe people that have come from an African country and they are now kind of global actors. Yeah. So yeah, those people, they inspire me, or even people who are not African, or even people who are Nigerian. I have models. I have role models that I look up to, and they inspire me for different reasons.
Yeah. On average, how many books have you read? Because I know you read a lot. I think you run a book club or something.
I have a book club, yeah.
How many books have you read?
How am I supposed to be?
An average now. No.
All my life?
Yes.
I don't know.
Give me like a number. I don't have to
quote that says, I don't know all the foods that I've eaten. Just as I don't know how many books I've read, but in all they have made me.
How can you be comparing food and...
Yeah.
So you read like you eat. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, maybe previously, because now I made a content recently on my book page. I'm at that age where life is preventing me from reading as much as I would like. Yeah. So
you can't give me a number.
I can't give you a number.
Is that bad? Like bad in terms of like good? Like you read a lot.
I read nowadays. Like I said, I've not been reading a lot. But back in the days,
how long will it take you to read a book like this?
Let's say that I'm
like in your prime, like your reading era.
And like like in, I don't know, 4 hours or 5 hours.
Not a day.
No, that's a pretty small book. Unless the print are so tiny.
They are not tiny. They're
not tiny.
Okay.
If I'm sitting down in one spot, I can finish it like on a flight or something.
Huh.
Yeah, and also considering that I know a fool, so that's an interesting story. So
you even know the writer?
And I'll flow out one. That's really like secondary.
I need to do a lot. A lot. Do you? Okay. How many films have you been on?
I don't know.
Give me a number. Average. That doesn't have to be accurate. It can't be less than this, maybe more than that.
It can be less than...
I mean, like, both normal, like, whatever, I don't know how you guys rate movies, from the smallest, again, I blame how you rate it to the biggest. Yeah. So don't cut out anything.
It shouldn't be less than 20, I should say.
Hey, okay.
Have you? It shouldn't. But I don't know that it's more than 30.
So it's between 20 and 30?
Probably.
Any international feature?
Oh yeah.
How many?
1.
Okay.
So far yet. That one is a TV series.
What is it right to say what country? I don't know.
Oh yeah, sure. So Italy, yeah. But then I don't know if I can say Italy. Well, the production company. Yeah.
That's how I was worried if my question was.
Yeah, the production company was there. We filmed in Italy and Senegal, but the director is Hollywood. He's an Oscar-nominated director. So he wanted to film because the story revolves around there and Senegal.
I mean, you're global, though. You're global already.
Oh, we thank the Lord. We thank the Lord.
Interesting. Do you? How do you find? And I'm asking you this question of how do you, because again, it's all about learning. It's all about people seeing the industry and learning, the ropes from someone like yourself. How do you find these roles? How do they find you? Do you have like an agent? Do you have a management? Do you, what's that like?
I've never had a manager to now. Now I'm in talks because I'd like to.
I can recommend a couple. I'm sure they're already talking to you. But...
that was my friend. So that was very busy, but on friend.
Taiwo, stop this thing. If you not manage this lady, where are you? Taiwo, are they any precise?
Taiwo. That's me. I went to Taiwo. I said, Taiwo, have fun. But Taiwo's hands are full.
Yeah. Issue.
But he gave me options, and I'm happy to explore the options of coming to him whenever I need help. I said, he's my friend, so
When did you guys? Because I think I remember us talking about this in 2022 or something. I'm not sure you knew him at that time.
I knew of him, but we didn't have a personal relationship. It was I think it was Afriv 2023 or 2024. Yeah, I think we sat together and then we're just having a conversation. Yeah, and that was it. That's how we met, and we've then become friends.
Old is trousers.
What?
Old is trousers.
Yes, I will. No, I mean I don't even need to. He's my friend.
Yes.
That is just
Taiwo is. Anyways, let's not talk about it. I'm going to have him here, and I will drag him. But it's all good.
Yeah. Okay, so how do I get this role? Management. So I've never had management, and I like that you said, or how do I get this roles, or how do they come to me?
Yes.
Because that's really what has been happening.
Interesting.
They come to me, and I credit that. I mean, I would tell you, speaking of mentors or role models, I was on a set for a pilot. That's like the first episode of something to use as proof of concept with the RMD. And yeah, I asked him a question, how have you remained relevant? This was 2021. And he said, if I tell you that it's anything that I've done, I would be lying. And also, if I tell you that it's nothing that I've done, then I would be arrogant. So he's saying it's all me, it's also all not me. So yes, that's also the same thing to me, because I can come and say, oh, it's been God. Yes, 100% it is God. 100%, just like you noted, I also did the work, because God can be involved, but people are not willing to do their part. So, but I say God heavily, because I don't know for other careers, you being in the creative industry, you know how it is. You can do everything and still,
nothing.
May not be say that you work hard, because you can work hard.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Like it's not like that. So for the nature of jobs that have come to me, I wouldn't say, oh, it's like, no, I know it's in my heart that this is divinely orchestrated. Like, God's hand is on my life. It's not a thing that I hide. It's not a thing that I waste time to talk about. It's literally what it is. Even I don't know when this is going to come out. Probably by the time it comes out, the testimony video is already out, but I'm going to post something tomorrow. Okay. Which is, I can say here, Baby Farm came out. And it came out just in select African countries. Okay. So we filmed Baby Farm as a Netflix original, but it didn't come out as a Netflix original. Okay. There's a whole back story. Yeah. I felt that it was sad for me, but I was also grateful that it was coming out at all. Yeah. And the Nigerian did well. People are talking about it. You're talking about it. But now Baby Farm is coming out globally. There's the people in the UK. They are global. They are global. Baby Farm is going to be released there, and that is God. I mean, thank you to Auntie Mo, Abudu, and all the people on Netflix that made it happen. Yeah. But I see the hand of God in something. Yeah. So yes, it's I don't take credit for that. If I tell you how the international job came, when they say something came on a platter, just fell. So the easiest audition I've ever done. I didn't even know what I was auditioning for. I thought it was just like regular stuff. Yeah. It's just so surreal. I remember asking you how much they paid you for that. And you cornered me. But I will not ask you. It's alright. Don't ask me. But the Canada it has gone. It finished 3 years ago. It took me. I survived in Lagos with it for like 2 years. Ah. Yeah. Wow. You will tell me this thing. Behind camera. I remember my car. Paid rent twice. It comes. It's yours now. So like. You see, I've done it behind cameras. At least you said that's finished. So I'm not trying to. No, but no. Alright, good. Do you turn down roles? Yeah. Why? What kind of roles do you turn down? I would say more now than before. I would say roles that maybe don't align with what I want to say. But I can give you an example. There was, and this was like 2022, there was a film where the character was a feminist. It was feminist. Yeah. But then the way that it was being portrayed, I thought that was wrong, because this angry woman, hate men. And I said, this is not what it means to be a feminist. So I'm like, I don't want to, if I'm in this film, it's almost as, this is what I am saying. Yeah. So I wouldn't want to project that. That's a wrong, representation of the term and women who are feminists. And fortunately for me, the producer took the feedback. She said, yeah. She did not, because she had a lot on her hands. Mm-hmm. So it was just project that she was commissioned. Okay, I want you on this. I said, my dear, I haven't even read it. And she read it and she's like, I agree with you, man, that kind of a thing. So that's kind of like an example role. Also, maybe it could be something. It could be a role that I'm like, I cannot play this thing. Nothing is wrong with the script, right?
What thing?
I don't think I fit this character. There's somebody else who could do this thing. But then in those kind of situations, I've never gotten to the point where the director says, no, I see you. You think you can't do it, but I believe in you, that kind of thing. But sometimes I see everyone, I'm like, I don't think I'm best suited for this. I don't think that I can play this character well. I don't think I can do everything in acting.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah.
So what kind of character do you think you can play well?
That I can't play well. I can't. It's not black or white. I have to be.
No, I understand.
Yeah, I have to.
But just from the jump, can you describe a character that you think you wouldn't want to play because you can't play it well, or just you've talked about the feminism one, yeah, the radical feminism one. Yes. So what do you? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Again, it's not a definitive because this character is a policewoman or this character is in a comedy film. No, it's the story.
Do you employ your faith into the character? Like, how does this align with my faith? How does this align with the gospel, for example? Do you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I can.
How easy?
It's not easy. I'd have been richer probably if I wasn't.
Interesting.
I mean, in some ways, because now I want to correct that, because if I say that, somebody who is watching will now say, hey, so if I'm a Christian or a person of faith, I'm coming to the industry, that means I'll be poorer. Do not think that is a lie from the pit of hell. It's not me. I just told you that I've gone to Italy and I've come back.
I spent the money for 3 years.
You understand?
Hey,
and
I spent for 3 years.
I'm telling you once, so I will also go before this year runs out. So don't ever think that. Don't.
I can manage you. I was last down.
Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. But yeah, my faith definitely, as a matter of fact, my faith is an added advantage. Like I've told you, there are roles that they come to me. And I think when we're in alignment with our purpose, there's things that happen.
Can you speak on your experience on set as a lady or as a Nigerian or as a black woman? When I mean black, of course, your skin isn't black. You are a black woman. You're African. Can you speak on your experience on set? Maybe the black part might not be really relevant because you're in Africa and Nigeria, but
everybody's black.
In a sense, yes. But as a woman, what's your experience like on set?
To be honest, I would say good. Okay. And I understand why you're asking that, because there are people that don't have my experience. Yeah. There's people, and I would say that is a real thing that happens.
I agree.
There's harassment, there's stories every day. Even nowadays, a lot of them we don't hear because people don't want to speak. They don't want to be blacklisted. They don't want to not work.
Yeah.
So, but for me personally, I've been good. I've been lucky. I say that every time somebody asks me if I've done, like, say, the 20 jobs, I would say 18 of them have been good. Clean sets. Maybe the other 2 is like, these people are just, they're not planned. Yeah, they did not plan it. They're just wasting my time. I've just been on set. I'm not doing anything. I'm exhausted. They didn't plan properly. It wasn't a case of, harassment or patriarchy or stuff like that. I haven't had that. But like I said, doesn't mean that it's not another person's like reacting on a daily basis.
Do you think that is your reality because of how you carry yourself? And I'm asking this because, again, referencing Baby Farm, there was a scene in Baby Farm that maybe I saw that part and like, Onyinye can actually do this thing, like in real life. Like,
what was that?
I would tell you, I was like, this is, like, at that moment, I could say that this is Onyinye, not the character. There was a point where you were taken out of the bougie room and they took you to the bunk room, the prison side, and you sat down and the bully girl came and get out of that bed. And then you're like, for a second, I felt like the script would have gone the direction of you, fidgeting and giving it to her. But then the script didn't go that way. Yeah. But I also said to myself, even if the script went that way and this was real life, Onyinye would have done.
Yeah, no, you're not taking my best from me. Are you
Yeah. So was that you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think set has been smooth the way you describe it? There's a part of it that has to do with the way you carry yourself, the way you communicate, the way you.
I would say in some ways, yes. But then, if we're talking about, say, a topic like sexual harassment, it has nothing to do with how you carry yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I'm talking sexual harassment, but for men and for women, people were just wicked.
Yeah.
People were just rude and they're mean.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about that and assault and sexual,
it has nothing to do with.
It has nothing to do with carrying yourself. Somebody can decide to ruin your life just because.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're the most confident or you're the most assertive human being. Yeah. But in some ways, I would say yes. I don't know that I suffer fools. I can, if something is going wrong and I can speak about it, I will speak about it. But yes, also there is the diplomacy in communication. Yes. So in that way, it has helped me navigate the industry, both with men and women, older people. Yeah, that's like industry 101 lesson. Gotta know how to. It's people management. You have to know. Yeah.
That's good to know. That's good to know. I'm really happy that your experience has been good so far. I pray that everything continues to go smoothly. Do you plan to venture into other things outside acting?
Yeah, as I was saying, I'm producing now. Even where I'm going to from here is a meeting. It's a production meeting. So I think it was last 2 years I came into a place where oh my God, I'd like to produce, because the management stuff, I like that. I like stuff like that. So yeah, I want to. I'm not a script writer per se. I'm not a director. I don't think I am.
Yeah.
But producing, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But outside, okay, I think we'll get to that. We'll get to that. That's good to know. That's good to know. What are your thoughts about? 2 questions. A part is, do you get residual income? When I mean residual, like back end, aside the one-time fee that you're paid for a job. Why are you thinking? What are the? Sorry, bless you. Do you want me to withdraw?
Yes or no?
Okay.
No.
You don't. Even with the international film? Why is that? Do you think?
I wanted to drink water. I ended up choking myself.
Sorry.
I don't know why that is. I'd like to earn some residual income.
Do you think it's a structural thing, an industry structural thing, or some actors, like, you have to get to a level to have access to that, to be able to even have that conversation?
There's also
that. So it's a combination of both.
I think.
But do you think it would have been easier if it wasn't in a different industry that isn't like Nollywood?
Yeah. So then we're now talking about a better structure, an industry that has better structure.
That has better structure.
Yeah.
So do you think that do you believe that we have answered this, but do you believe that every actor should get, every major cast, right, should get residual?
I feel like that's not a black or white question. It depends.
And what are residual incomes for people that don't know? Can you tell us?
So that's back end, where the profit is made from the film. The actor earns a certain percentage. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. Every actor. I think this is even now that I'm coming into producing, this is a conversation that I think producers would be better at answering them, because the business of filmmaking itself, the money, if you say give this actor 5%, that's after I've paid you this amount.
This amount, yes.
what is the conversation? Why is that conversation being had? And is it just because you're an actor, I should give you this percentage,
or because
you bring certain exactly?
Yeah.
So I think there's those nuances.
So it's a function of leverage, leverage and structure, leverage, industry structure, leverage. Because sometimes, what if these producers don't earn in a sense that lies? What if they've also got the project?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so we are in the final segment of the pod, and this pod is like a game. It's a question, and we call it the Great Game. Grit is synonymous to hustle, like doggedness. You hustle, basically you're grinding in a sense. So if you are to pick a different hustle outside what you do right now, that isn't this, you can't pick any of the things that you do or that are in the corridor of the things that you do. What would you do? What would that
I'd be a fitness trainer.
Why?
Because fitness is the other thing that I like. I've never explored anything because of acting. For example, now I went to the gym. I'm like, I'm not in my stronger era because I go on sets and I can't go to the gym. So I come back, and anybody that goes to the gym, you know how it is. Give time, you come back, it's like you're starting afresh.
Yeah.
So I think that I would explore. I don't know, maybe MMA fight. I feel like I might compete in something, even if it's on a marathon, just do something more with fitness, something physical. I think that I have that flair, have that affinity. But also I'm thinking fitness trainer. Maybe then be a fitness trainer for actors.
Oh, interesting. That's nice. You can still do it though. You can. I think you can still.
Maybe not in the physical being present, but we're looking at online materials and stuff.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's some nice stuff.
Yeah.
I like what your head is at. I like the way you're thinking. I like the way you've, your thought process up onto this point. And I hope that a lot of people can, grab one or two things from the things you said, because I think they are really, really key and very, very important. Thank you again, Onyinye. Thank you for coming into the pod. Thank you so.
Thank you very much. This is lovely.
All right. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Cheers.